Hey traders, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. Today's video, as you can tell by the title already, today's video I want to talk about the market structure and basically look at market structure in the relation to time frame as well, right? So like I said, and I'm going to start by saying this in the beginning of this video, you got to pair like this information with the other videos. Okay, so the risk management video goes with the time frame videos, the market structure, because these things is like trading is like a puzzle. You just put each piece that you need, each factor that you need in, and you have a plan to trade from. Okay, so I want to go through and show some structure here and show why that just with the candlestick pressure, the momentum trading, and everything just like that. So if I just find a really clean chart for a second, I'm not really trading any minors up. And I want to go through, and you can see we're on the daily time frame. I'll go through and I'll draw some market structure. And so let's just see what this information can tell us just from this. Okay, so let me start from the monthly for that matter, actually. If we go through and we're trying to figure out what is the structure the market is in, we're gonna go through and encapsulate in case the low area, just like this. Right? And what is price doing? Price obviously just moves from top to bottom, rejected, came back, and currently we're consolidating for the past 4 months around in this area. So it's not much on the direction, but we do have that support area that we are interfering with. We also have this area as a top, right? And I'm calling this a top because 1, 2, 3, and we interact with it here. So this is really my next area for price to come to. And you know what, how I always draw my support and resistance, my support and resistance market structure, right? So we go from support to resistance, resistance, support. We have options, right? And then the next resistance would have been just right around here. Like this something, right? So this is ideally how we would analyze this pair from all the information that we can see on the monthly time frame from GJ. I'm gonna go through and delete these aren't what I really need right now, but let's just leave this one in to know that we did reject the support and we should go to the next resistance. Then I'll go down to the next time frame and I'll really just do the same thing. I'm tracking the trend using market structure and everything like that, so I can find the dominant trend, and then from the lower time frames I'm only trading in that one trend. I'm seeing where all my key levels are, whatever, from each time frame and how I can work with that. So here we have the same thing where we got to draw our support and resistance, okay, just to be able to get a roadmap for our structure that we're trying to trade with. Okay, I'm going to change this, make it like this, right? Just to capsule there and there, leave that like that, so we know once we get to this area what we can see. Right now we are starting to form higher highs ever since we got to the resistance, to the support area, right? So we can anticipate higher highs to continue. Though this is one of the things that are very interesting about trading, and you guys get to see it live here. So yes, we do have higher high structure being made, and higher high structure is uptrend structure. If we look at the monthly candle, we can see bullish pressure coming in from the support and making its way up now, like it's gaining. More buyers are gaining into the market. So if more buyers are gaining, uptrend structure should continue, right? Which is what we're anticipating for this situation here, though we do have a resistance. So in this case here, I'm not trying to sell at the resistance because I'm going with the higher trend, you get me? And this is the weekly time frame, so I'm gonna do this whole thing again on the daily time frame, and let's just get another look at market structure. So this is from the monthly time. So red one's monthly, and then we're gonna put another one for the weekly, which we can see the trend. We are currently like this, and so if an uptrend is to continue, we need new highs, right? And we need more of an increase, so more of everything previously for it to continue. There can't be less. If it's less, then the trend is just dying, right? And that shows trend reversal. So our next thing here is this resistance. I'm going to go through and make this orange too, so we know what time frame this was built on. This is very strong because it is weekly one. The monthly one down here was obviously stronger because it's the monthly. So let's just go drop down to daily and check out what's going on here. So yeah, we're getting some high structure within the last few days, maybe about the last month. We're getting high structure. So everything is still pretty good. This is where learning how to draw your support and resistance zones and things just like that come into play, because you're more, well, I would at least be more likely to take a trade coming up soon because of the lower time frame that we are getting to, right? So we're getting high structure. We're getting a pullback right to this right now. Let me make this green. This chart is going to be really confusing. Don't mind that. This is just to show you the illustration of what I'm doing per time frame. And I used to kind of draw them like this, color coordinate them, but now I really just do more trading for myself, so I don't really have to do all these colors and stuff like that. But this goes the same idea. Why we have a bullish impression on this, right? We got a green candle at the support, so we should continue to go up, and we can see we have our what could be our next target. What is our next target? My bad. The weekly resistance, but we know we may consolidate there or something of the sort. But we can also get new highs to come, given the weekly structure and things just like that. Let me go to weekly. Given the weekly structure, the bullish candles continuing on this time frame, and then last but not least, let me hop to the 4-hour time frame. And what do we see? We can definitely pair this with what we've learned from the momentum trading video, the support and resistance video, where I go through and you can see from this trading time frame on the 4-hour, we have support and resistance areas here that we can look to take trades from, and you read the candle, the pressure of the candles, taking trades from these areas. It's very important to understand that you have different structures, different trends operating on different time frames. So I want to continue going down to lower time frames right now and show you why this can be a really big mess, because you have a lot of new traders that jump into the market and they're really just, lower time frame trading and everything just like that. So just keep in mind of the bullish bias that we've seen here, along with GJ currently, with all the analysis we've just done. And I'm just going to hop on to, let's say, the 15-minute time frame, where a lot of traders are hopping on brand new straight to these lower time frames because they want the money. They're not considering the higher time frame stuff. They're not considering the bigger moves of the spectrum, right? So let's just pull into a point of view, not considering what is happening, what is the trend on the other time frames. So think about it like this: if the weekly trend is up, why would you be on the daily trend, the daily time frame, trying to sell that type of stuff? Because you're going against the trend. But if you didn't realize that there even was a weekly time frame, or there was a weekly trend, you would have just been absent-minded of that information. And another thing is those traders who are indecisive, for a lot of traders, one candle really makes the trend from a lower time frame. So when a trader goes through and does their analysis, they might overcomplicate the lines. Okay, this is a support area, this is a resistance area, and as price just breaks through, you're going to switch your bias from long to short and long to short many times throughout the day. And this is not what we're doing. We're just going with the higher time frame. We don't need to be shorting, and unless you're hedging. Of course, if you have a hedging strategy and that's what you're supposed to do, by all means, it's always about following your strategy, your trading strategy that you have. But ideally, you want to be very aware of the structure. And I'm just going to place this last thing here to help you guys out, because structure is very easy to understand. A lot of people overcomplicate it with the hundreds of different patterns that there are in the market, and very simplistically, I can narrow down all of these patterns to 3 main patterns, and that is the uptrend pattern. And I've explained this many different places as well. If you have the uptrend pattern, which many of you guys are familiar with, this just shows you that there's a high structure. Yeah, so this is high structure, right? Like I said, if the trend is to continue, we need to get more and more of these. If the uptrend is not continuing, We have what's called a ranging trend consolidation. That's what that looks like. And it can come in many forms. It can last very, very long, or it can be very, very small. And then the other trend, right? There's three main trends: up, down, and then left to right. The next trend is lower lows, right? So a lot of people do head and shoulders, and head and shoulders is just going to be a combination of two of these patterns. People are going to do, let's say, there's a ton of patterns, okay? And really you can confine all those patterns into these three waves. And then on top of this, if you're my students, I just want to reiterate this, is that these market structure definitions, these structures tell us the candlestick from a higher time frame. They tell us the trend. They tell us the trend that we can be trading in, the momentum of the market. And while the prices at key areas, these are where we find our opportunities to actually place a trade from. So this right here is very, very, very important. This is the market structure. These are all of the market structures that the market makes. So if you can just use the higher time frame, categorize it to one of these trends, go on the lower time frame, look for these same exact setups, and trade in the direction of the major trend. That's all I gotta say for this video, guys. I really hope it was helpful. This is really big information, it's really important information. You apply this with the risk management, you apply this with the time frame, the moving average, if that's something you want to use for yourself. You apply it with consistency and with a systematic approach, and journal your trades. Make sure you journal your trades. I believe we do have a little segment video coming out on journaling your trades, because that has helped me a lot and it's helping many, many traders. So yeah, like I said, that's all I really got to say. Make sure you rate, comment, subscribe. And if I help you guys out in this video, just drop a comment, let me know. And with that being said, I'll be sure to check you guys in the next video. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.